Reid Duke playing against Bill Chronopoulus. Is that right now? Hello and welcome to coverage of GP Madison. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Buehler. It's round number 7 and we're just underway here. We've got Reid Duke versus Bill Chronopoulus. Now Bill's from Greece, and he was on the national team for them at the World Magic Cup. I knew I recognized his name.
Yeah. Took down Team USA in the semifinals and got one game away from the Danes, but it was in fact Denmark that was victorious. Greece had to settle for second. He's also had some success at the GP and even the Pro Tour as well.
I'm sure he's in town early for the PT next weekend.
Exactly.
Reid Duke, I haven't really heard of him, but
he has a Gideon in his deck. That's the important thing.
Okay, so some guy with a Gideon is basically,
yeah, he's like 6-0,
that's the tagline.
That's 6-0 with a Gideon. What are you going to do?
Of course, Reid Duke is Reid Duke. GP champ, PT top 8er, member of Team Channel Fireball, the Pantheon, as well as the Peach Garden Oath. One of the more popular players as well, just period.
All true.
But he is having his creatures kind of mowed down here. Complete disregard takes down the blocker here.
Are you that upset?
No.
To get your 2-3 for 3 killed?
I'm starting to get a little worried that Bill is prioritizing getting a few cards ingested highly.
Yes.
Oh, and here's Gideon. Ally of Zendikar right on time. Turn 4. Bang. Now, this is considered one of the best cards in the whole set for Limited.
One of?
And maybe even for Constructed. Yeah, and
one
maybe
of?
just the best card, right? It's on that very short list of, 1 to 3 cards or whatever. And we're going to get a chance to see why here. Let's see what he can do. Ooh, there's a nice one. Clutch of Currents.
Yeah, that's a tapped land that's awakened.
Indeed.
So
if it weren't,
to kill Gideon,
then Gideon would be down for the count. But he is applying significant pressure here as Bill Chronopoulus. But this is the problem.
You spend a card on every ally Gideon makes, though?
Right. And here's the issue is that you think, okay, well, now maybe he can kill Gideon next turn. The problem is that Reid Duke gets to draw a card, play a card from his hand, and still use Gideon to make a 2-2, and it's so hard to overcome when your opponent's just chugging along like they normally would, but then on top of it, they get to just keep making these 2-2s. Oh, just an Evolving Wilds, though, for Reid Duke, and no at least main phase play there.
Does have a land he can activate.
Yeah, that's the man land there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so some business.
Shambling Vent.
Shambling Vent, thank you. Yeah, and here we go, Bill. Ball is back in your court, and you are going to have to figure out how to deal with Gideon. And it looks like Reid is going to crack Evolving Wilds. Are we going to see Shambling Vents activated and then a double block? Are we going to see a chump? Does he have a removal spell?
Why does he choose this moment to crack his Evolving Wilds?
Don't know. Oh, that's why. He's going to draw a card with Grave Birthing.
Got it. And he's going to get a 1-1 Scion.
Right.
And then I assume double block?
So he's going to have Bill exile a card from his graveyard. Bill gets to choose it. Doesn't particularly matter in this case. And then you're right. He's going to get the double block going here. And you can see what Reid's doing is now he's trying to leverage this game around Gideon. He's trying to force Bill into a situation where Gideon just takes over and just grinds him into dust here.
Infiltrator's going to slow Gideon down, though.
Yes.
Hard to block that guy. Well, he threatens to slow Gideon down. We'll see. I mean, Reid's got a grip full of cards.
Yeah, but I think Infiltrator's a pretty nice card in this format, it turns out.
Reid's still content with the
Wow.
zeros.
Now the Angel comes down. That's going to gain him a couple of life as well. And it looks like Reid is just going to have to say, okay, sure. You can peck away at Gideon with your benthic infiltrator, but he's going to get a lot of value in between.
Yes, and that's, I mean, what else are you going to do with your bill, right?
Right. There's a Demon's Grasp to take down the Angel. That's fine. That'll help stem the bleeding, at least in the air, but he's still behind a Gideon here. Also,
and Gideon does have a plus ability.
yeah, Gideon can become a 5/5 and just start whacking Bill Chronopoulus as well, and that outpaces the benthic infiltrator.
That's the plan.
Here, take 7.
You're like, fine, I'll stop using my Gideon. Take
Right.
7.
This is the compromise that Gideon offers. Right, and
a sharpshooter.
Yeah, a sharpshooter and a throw here for Reid Duke. So he has bolstered quite nicely here, and that's the problem, right? Is it Bill is now like he's fully invested in trying to kill Gideon, but if he doesn't look away from Gideon for a minute, he'll note here he's fallen way behind on board as well. Oh, Gideon. Take a look at our players. There's Reid.
Infiltrator at Reid. Giving up on Gideon. He just wants to ingest some more food for future Eldrazi's.
Is that what he's doing?
I mean, what else does that attack accomplish?
Nothing. Didn't you just hit Gideon there? This game's gotten a little weird. Reid has so many sweet lines available to him here too. He can use his Hagra Sharpshooter to basically nullify the benthic infiltrator and take over with 2/2 allies and Gideon. He can just keep beating down and keep the prep. Oh yeah, he's just going to rumble here. Everybody in the red zone. That's a chump block.
Chump block.
Wow. This is getting ugly, Randy.
Not if you're a Reid Duke fan.
Even Reid would look at this and say, yeah, this is kind of nasty, man. Bill Chronopoulus down to 7.
And down to a lone 1/4.
It's like Reid's deciding if he needs to add anything else to the board here. And you know what this is? This is a show me one more card from your...
Reid's like,
and
no.
Reid's like, no. You know what? I'm going to shrink it down and not even let you see that. That's funny. That's kind of the, you know, can I see your graveyard real quick before I concede? And they just say no. I'm going to shuffle it back in just so you can't. All right, and that's going to do it. Reid Duke taped down game 1. Make sure you tune in next weekend for the Pro Tour. We're going to be right here in Wisconsin, just an hour and a half away in Milwaukee for the Pro Tour. Battle for Zendikar. We're starting up on Friday. We'll go through the whole weekend. We certainly hope you'll join us there. Let's check in, though, on our back table. What do we got going on here?
More European players with strong finishes in the World Magic Cup.
So this is Raf Levy on the right-hand side.
Indeed.
And Michael Majors on the left.
Rest of Levy's resume is also not bad.
The whole Hall of Fame, most pro points ever, that whole thing.
That whole thing.
Well, he's also ahead on life total here. If you could add anything else to the...
Felidar Sovereign may have a thing or two to say about that.
Ooh, hello.
Is that an Akum Firebird that managed to get into exile?
Yeah.
It's not where that wants to be.
No. I'm sure Michael Majors disagrees. Now, one of the interesting things about Felidar Sovereign is that Raf is going to be able to block with a Scion and then sacrifice it to not allow the life gain if that's something that he's interested in doing here. You know, for example, if he had a Touch of the Void or something in his hand, he could still preserve a win. And it looks
the
like that's what he
Infiltrator
did.
only needs 4 turns. It's sort of almost doable.
Yeah, close. He's gonna need to find some more Scions if he wants to make that plan work.
Right.
He's also fallen down to 12. He is taking significant amount of damage outside of the Felidar Sovereign. In 2 turns, he'll be dead. This is the one where you hold your breath if you're Michael Majors, because he's coined down to 3 here. And that is in range, but nope. Raph's passing the turn. Michael is going to try to close this game out as quickly as he can. He'd love to get one hit in with that Felidar Sovereign. Now, as it's doing, I mean, it's chewing through Eldrazi spawn. Those are real creatures. It's doing its job, but, you know, the difference between being at 3 here and being at 7, it can be pretty big. And he's going to go ahead and rumble with 3 of his 4 available attackers. Yeah, do it again, says Raph. Take 5. Ooh, there's drawn his emissary. Another way to gain some life. He's just trying to dodge a burn
Feels like
spell
a
here.
now or never. Feels like Levy's last draw step coming up.
This is a big moment here.
Oh, scatter to the winds. No Drana's Emissary, and Raph is able to awaken a land.
All right, so this is the new
Counterspell plus the
Counterspell
Stalking
here.
Stones.
I like that. Well, it gives him a 3/3, which is a lethal attacker, but Michael's been careful. You see that he left that one ally back. He did that for this reason. If there was some creature that he didn't see on the board or didn't anticipate, something with haste, something along those lines.
Ooh.
And here's a Merc Strider to get rid of Felidar Sovereign. And you can see that play may have saved Michael Majors' game here.
Leaving the ally back, yeah.
Yeah, because he would be dead right here if he had attacked with all of them. And he's dead right here anyway, as Outnumber is going to kill the last ally, and that's lethal.
Give a trick. 4 mana.
Anything?
Wow.
That was a nice turn from Raph Levy.
Levy has no cards left in his hand either. One of those cards was off the top of the deck. Wow.
Wow, that was a sick turn from Raph.
He had to set it up. He had to scatter the winds and then hope that he could top deck a way to force it through.
Wow.
And did.
And he did. Very calmly, I might add.
Yeah, true. He's been around a few feature match tables in his life. Hilariously, if Michael Majors never casts a spell and there's no target for Scatter to the Wind, Levy can't awaken a land.
Right. You're right.
If he just doesn't play anything, Levy's line doesn't work there. I don't think
but
you're
it's
supposed
a rare.
to. It's a rare, yeah. I'm not saying he's wrong.
No, but it's true. It's true. And you know what? As the format matures, we will get to the point where that kind of thing pops up in players' heads. It's not quite there yet. Even top players like Mike Majors. Remember Mindswipe? I definitely remember not playing spells at some point in the game thinking, that's the only way I'm losing is my opponent goes Mindswipe you for 10 or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm ahead. I'm not doing that. So the lesson we learned here is don't play your spells. Is that right, Randy?
I think the lesson is that it helps if you're psychic. We figured out the psychic play.
So I should start working on that? I don't feel like I've developed the psychic side of my game plan very well.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
If you can pull that off and make the psychic plays instead of the strategically correct plays.
Transgress the mind here for Bill Chronopoulus. And he's going to go ahead and write down the contents of Reid Duke's hand. Oh, high-level players, almost all of them do this. It's just an easy thing to do that can prevent, simple mistakes. Land go for Bill Chronopoulus. No play on turn 3. And no play on turn 3 for Reid Duke either. Both players have a Mortuary Mire on the battlefield, but they played him early in the game where it wasn't. Jeez, what is going on here? No 4-drop or 3-drop for Bill Chronopoulus.
Island, island, island. Is that what's going on?
And a Mortuary Mire.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know. Strange. I wouldn't expect that. Let's see if Reid has something. He might be thinking about playing a spell that could get countered here as kind of a tester. It's always an interesting decision to watch the players play because they sometimes won't want to send. He's got his own Transgress the Mind. So let's just take a look at what Chronopoulus is up to. Let's see. 5-drop, 7-drop, effectively 5-drop, 6-drop. Well, that explains that. Looks like Drowner of Hope is the most powerful card outright here. And also, though, looks like Reid Duke, this is kind of what he's doing for this turn. Looks like Reid's in the tank here. He's going to take the Drowner. And Spawning Bed go. So a really slow start for these players, kind of picking away at each other's hands. And now the fireworks will start, though, because... Oh, sorry, that wasn't a Spawning Bed, it was an Evolving Wilds. My mistake. Bill Chronopoulus now has not only a decent threat on board with Kozilek's Channeler, but he also can just kind of dump his hand. Channeler's really scary. You know, when they hit the Channeler, the next turn is when they can just go off. And, you know, Reid knows what he has in his hand.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to be facing huge Eldrazi's for the next 2 to 3 turns, and still the Channeler as well, which is already a problem in and of itself. Colostria Nightwatch will do a good job of keeping the Channeler at bay, but it's also just going to incentivize Bill to just run out the Eldrazi he has in his hand here. Got access to 7 mana, maybe 8 if he hits a land here.
Bane of Balagad.
You decided on Bane of Balagad. Well, that is going to do serious work seriously quickly on this board state. And let's just take that whole plan back. Grip of Desolation is going to take out a land as well as the Bane and even clear the way for an attack here from Reid Duke. So nice play there from Reid. Grip to take away your huge play. It could be really tough for Bill to recover from unless he could just immediately start dropping more threats. I see he's got that Clutch Occurrence.
Yeah, he still got 6 mana.
Yeah, he drew a swamp this turn too, so right back up to 7. Man, that card's good. Grip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that card for sure. Yeah, get that thing out of here. Clutch of Currents. And that's going to clear the way for an attack for 3 here as well. Or it looks like he decided to attack with the Channeler, excuse me.
Right, he could have tapped the Channeler for mana, been able to attack with the land, but why not attack with the 4/4?
Yeah, force more than 3, so off he goes. Jeez. Reid Duke laying it on thick now with the removal spells here. Demon's Grasp takes down Channeler. And that potentially suffocates the mana for Chronopoulus, who already lost a land earlier to the Grip of Desolation. And is that a Skitter Skin there?
I believe so.
Yeah, all right, the beatdowns continue.
He even has a colorless creature.
He does, yeah. I think that's one that's easy to overlook.
The fact that the lands are the colorless creatures to turn everything on.
Exactly. But a cool little crossover there.
For sure.
like that island's gotten a little meeker here in the face of the 4-5. It's going to jump back down at the lands. So Reid Duke at 13. With Bill at 16. They're still at relatively high life totals here. So I expect the players to continue to manage each other's board or to build out their own rather than starting to try to, you know, get any super aggressive attacking going or anything like that. And Bill, after all that thinking, decides to play 2 cards for the turn. And neither of them super impressive here. They're fine.
Gideon is back.
I was going to say right on time, but there's never a wrong time for Gideon. Here he is, bringing ally friends with him. And is he going to be able to take over this game like he did in the first one? I wouldn't be shocked to see it. Reid Duke, again, on a relatively stable board state here. And Gideon's, you know, sitting at 4 loyalty. And even though Benthic Infiltrator can help chip away at it, it's really going to put Bill in a position where he has to do something immediately to start getting pressure in on Gideon. I mean, killing the Colostrian Night Watch would be so huge for Chronopoulus here. But a tall order at 4-5, it's not easy to do.
Ruination Guide?
That is a Ruination Guide. Now that does help out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Here.
Benthic Infiltrator hits for 2 now.
Yeah, also the Skitter Skin can now get can
oh, it beats
get
up
into the Claustria Night Watch there. And Bill has left up 2 mana so that he can regenerate as well. So that was a really good play for Chronopoulus there, getting that Ruination Guide down. That actually put significant pressure on Gideon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make him regenerate, I guess. Get him tapped out.
He's got to have something, though. Oh,
He
yeah, there it
does.
is. Okay. I'm like, Reid would not make that block. So it was Gideon's Reproach that he had in his hand. And that lets him keep his Claustria Night Watch around. It tempos him a little bit, and of course, he gets that Skitter Skin dead, which is a real issue.
Well, now that it's 5 power.
Exactly.
Gideon's Reproach would have been perfect for the Infiltrator if it wasn't for the fact that there's suddenly a 5-3 Regenerator that he needed to deal with.
Yeah, nice play there from Reid Duke. Getting that Gideon's Reproach on there. What is that weapon Gideon has? It's not a whip, it's like this. Have you seen it? It's like this thing on his gauntlet. You can see it on the book you got in front of you there.
I don't know.
I asked Kimberly from the creative team, and she knew immediately. I just have forgotten now. Creative knows what it is.
I'm sure. It's clearly deliberate.
Yeah.
It's pretty clearly supposed to be a big deal.
Oh, it's a big deal. It deals 4 damage.
You know what weapon Kiora has, right?
Oh, yeah. She has a borrowed Bident.
Borrowed.
That'd be nice. I like Kiora.
It is, in fact, Thassa's Bident.
Ooh, here's Complete Disregard to take down the Benthic Infiltrator. And, you know, I was ready to hand this game over to Gideon, but it looks like Reid Duke's kind of doing it the hard way, just using good old-fashioned removal spells to manage the board of Bill Chronopoulus and inch his way further.
You mean defend Gideon?
By defending Gideon. Yeah, I mean, Gideon ends up being pretty grindy in a board like this.
It's the Surral.
Surral?
What's a Surral?
You know, Randy, I don't actually know.
I see a picture of one.
Yeah, it looks like a whip or maybe some metal or, you know, something that he can flick around on that thing. But
second Ruination Guide. Now the land is 5 power.
Multiple whip-like blades anchored to the exterior of an arm guard.
Nice.
Thank you, Rashad. So that's a second Ruination Guide here for Bill Chronopoulus.
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty dreamy. You know, that's the kind of
agree.
card that in multiples can get really nasty.
I don't think Reid is interested in having Gideon die, so the question is how many creatures is he going to block with? Decides on those two. Yeah, double block's good enough.
You know, it's interesting. I see in the chat, you know, Simon Gertson, who's joined us in the booth at the PT and does GP coverage as well. There's a chat going on about the play earlier with Bill Chronopoulus and Reid Duke, where Bill decided to regenerate his Skitter skin.
Yep.
You know, there's a defensible line where you say, okay,
Which is you're willing to trade.
we'll just trade. You know, because that takes away that play from Reid. Now, it leaves him with Gideon's Reproach in hand. You have to deal with it at some point.
Yeah, but I think
that was pretty bad for Bill because the 4/5's a great blocker against his deck. Interesting to note, right? I think the obvious play is the one that Bill made, but it you know, it's always worth it to check out other lines.
The thing is, if you let them trade, it's a defensible line
Yeah.
to say I'm willing to let them trade because I can't run a risk. The problem is Bill's behind on this board. Like he doesn't. It leaves him without a way to pressure Gideon. I mean, I think regenerating that means he has the ability to attack Gideon again on the following turn. Now, I mean, the only evidence he has to say go is the fact that Reid made the block at all.
I mean, I was surprised. If I was playing
Right.
against Reid, I would be like, what does he have? And then I would think, oh, Gideon's Reproach.
Yeah, I mean, I think saying my opponent has a Gideon, I need this to work out. I need him to not have anything else, or I'm going to lose anyway. I think that's a reasonable way to think.
Okay.
The evidence, though, the fact that Reid made that block at all is a pretty strong tell that he's got something.
Red
'Cause
flags
it's
flying, my friend.
quite a bad block.
In the meantime, Reid Duke has grounded out here. Ooh, there's Guardian of Tazim. That does something.
True.
Okay, that's pretty decent. But Reid has certainly leveraged Gideon
too, so
nicely. It was an island, so
No
that
untap.
Angel's not untapping.
So Guardian can actually kill Gideon next turn, maybe.
Probably, I would say. I mean, looking
At
at
this point,
it,
you think Reid's out of stuff.
well, Reid just top decked one card. I didn't see what it was, but it's probably not a removal spell.
How do you play this Gideon if you know it's going to die?
Yeah, that's the question. Is Reid's looking? He's
Get
checking
in
life
there.
totals, right? Because you know Bill's sitting at 16. He can get in with Gideon for a nice hit of 5. If he thinks that having a fourth ally, a 2/2 ally knight on the battlefield will help get him in a position. Because looking at the next turn, Bill is going to have to attack with the Guardian of Tazim if he wants to kill Gideon,
Right.
and that means that these knights can rumble, you know, unless Bill has some follow-up play that can block well. You know, he can get in there for a lot of damage here.
He just goes for the ally. Sharpshooter?
Yeah, it's a Hagra Sharpshooter. Reid does have enough mana to activate it.
-1/-1 is not actually going to do anything though, right?
No, although, is he one land away from double activating it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah.
Wow.
Geez, if he can double activate it, he gets to start mowing down Ruination Guides.
Another island.
It was an island off the top for Bill. So here we go. Is this a land for Reid? He really has no terrible draws here, I'd assume. I mean, I guess there's some 2-drops in his deck.
Yeah,
he'd
sometimes
prefer
you
to not see.
get those scenarios where land is good and spells are good. It's hard to go wrong when that's true.
And he can certainly attack here as well. He can activate the land here and still have the activation of his Hagra Sharpshooter. And holy smokes, check this out. 6 creatures hitting the red zone for Reid Duke. Just jamming him in there. Now, these Ruination Guides are affecting each other, right? They're both 4/2s.
Mm-hmm.
So the Sharpshooter is going to be...
Sharpshooter doesn't help win a combat here. They get to trade.
Right. And what I mean is it's something that for sure Bill's going to want to try to take down.
Oh,
Still,
yeah.
that's a lot of damage there. 8 damage, half of Bill Chronopoulus' life total. Reid's going to jump up to 22. And another 2 drop there for Reid. So that really was one of the worst draws he could have, and even then he's in a reasonable position here. Yeah, and Bill can't actually do much. I think Reid can just sort of move in here, attack with everything. Sure, you block my Angel and kill it, but you take 10, you're dead. I mean, Bill's top
even
decking.
a trick that kills 1 creature
Yeah.
doesn't save him. Oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way, get your blocker out of the way, too. And a big smile from Reid and one from Bill Chronopoulus. But Reid Duke wins the match 2-0 to improve to 7-0. We'll see you tomorrow, Reid.
True. Yeah, 7-0. Feels like Gideon won that match 2-0, but Reid helped.
That is one way to view it. Let's take a look at our turbo match here. Lewis Kaplan versus Dan Jordan.
Maybe Reid should start wearing a Sorrel. Whipping his opponents.
You know, he probably just knows how to use one.
If anybody knows how to use one, it's probably Raphael Levy. Raphael Levy runs a martial arts magazine company, right?
You're right, yeah. He probably knows what it is and how it works.
Levy did win that match, by the way, 2-0. So Raphael Levy also 7-0.
All right, well, we see this board state start to develop out here. That's Dan Jordan on the right-hand side. We saw him at GP Dallas for Origins Limited, and he did really well at that GP, top 8'd it. Whew! Laying on the beats here is Dan Jordan. He has got a really nice force going. It's a pair of Ondu Greathorns he's got up there. He's got a McKindy Slide Runner. Now his 2-drop isn't quite on the same power level as far as attacks go. Yeah, but what are you going to do?
These guys are both 6-0. Effectively playing to clinch day 2. Although it's 6-0, you're thinking about more than just sneaking in at 7-2. We heard a player count yet?
I have not.
I heard 1,800 something, but I don't know the exact number. We've been saying 2,000-ish.
Ooh, that was an Evolving Wilds.
Ah. Landfall and threatening second landfall.
Yeah, when you can get 2 landfalls in a turn, it adds up big time. Those Ondu Greathorns get huge. They can have 6 power with first strike. Yeah, look at this. Lewis Kaplan is forced to be in chump block mode here, at least against one of them. Stonehaven Medic looks like it's going to get eaten up here. All right, well, this is a big turn for Lewis because he took some damage, lost some of his board, but he's looking to stabilize against that pair of Ondu Greathorns. Now they're still getting the official total for the count here, Randy. It's 1750-ish, looks like, somewhere in that range.
I guess the no-show sent it under 1,800.
Yeah, it could be. All right, there's Clutch Occurrence. We've been seeing that one all day in the feature match here. It's done good work. Sending one of the Ondu Greathorns back to hand.
Greathorn is back.
And there's a Pilgrim's Eye as well. Kind of just churning through the deck here for Lewis Kaplan. Not a lot going on for him as, he's behind in life total. I don't have the exact life totals here on Turbo, but he's taking some pretty big hits. And Dan Jordan looks like he's just trying to find a way to get in those last few attacks. And here they are.
Trigger landfall, send him in. Is it a block and a quad block?
I think it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, blocks with the Pilgrim's Eye as a chump block and then throws all the other 4 on it. All right, and Dan's going to just take down the Kozilek's Channeler. So a clean trade there.
Yeah.
He's actually going to be quite happy with that, Lewis Kaplan, just whittling down one of those for one of his creatures. Looks like he's got plenty of mana for whatever it is he's up to here as well. So the Channeler, probably better used in combat.
And there's the game. Dan Jordan was able to poke through the last damage, right?
It does look like it, and we're underway again here. Felidar Cub to kick things off. Endless One is going to trade off, and again, I think Dan's got to be happy with that for his side of the table. He's got a Shadow Glider there. Just Dan Jordan, which is going to start pecking away in the air with that Career Griffin too. So taking to the skies. Now, Lewis also has a flyer. He's going to trade it off. Eldrazi Sky Spawner there. Ooh. Geez, this is a nice little curve here for Dan Jordan. He's going to be quite happy with the way that this has panned out.
Sure. Keeps getting better. Shadow Glider and a Castigator on that turn.
Wow, that's pretty good. Angelic Captain is looking to lead the charge here and make quick work of Lewis Kaplan if he can't do anything about it. He's going to need something big to help him get back into this too. It's not, just playing some ground Eldrazi or whatever is not going to get the job done. He's taking huge chunks of damage. Attacking for 8 in the air is Dan Jordan. That's the lifelink ally there. That could certainly help swing the race back in Lewis Kaplan's favor. Let's see if it's enough. Okay, Angel of Renewal, that can also help. He's gaining a lot of life here.
Or it can die.
Cancel that order.
Out of my way, coming over, kill you.
Yeah, Dan Jordan, he shows him the out number he had in his hand there, and
still had all these? He still had all these?
He did.
All right.
And that's going to do it for this round.